And that was D.I. Watson, the grandson of Dr. Watson.
What did he do, your husband? What was his job back then?
He was an assistant county auditor.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Well, at the time I met him, the jobs were scarce, and he had several jobs, but he was fortunate enough to go to business school in Charleston.
Oh.
And had a job waiting for him at the courthouse as assistant county auditor. So he was there about 2 years before he had to go in the military.
So then you got married in 1940.
And we were married in 1940. And in 1942, he had to go in the military.
He was drafted?
Yes.
Did you worry? Did you think he was going to be drafted, or did you think maybe he would stay home?
Well, we always hoped for the best. And before it was over with, I guess he was in the best. He was placed in the Army Air Corps, and he really got an education. He had to learn to wire an airplane from the nose to the tail. But the interesting thing to me, they sent him to Miami, then to Amarillo, Texas, then to Ohio, and then they sent him to Angel Island, right near the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 11 of the boys, and I have their names and all, but they put them on. They were their orders, and I have their orders, a copy of their orders. They were scheduled to go to Hawaii, and they put them on the wrong ship. And it was just a small merchant ship, I guess. And when they finally found a place to land them, it was New Caledonia. When they got there, nobody knew who they were. They had no orders. So they had to just hang around there until they could find out where they were supposed to go.
Goodness.
It was rough. Well, it was 6 weeks that I didn't know where it was.
Oh, no. That must have been very hard.
And Miss Grace Ruark was with the Red Cross.
Uh-huh.
And I went to see her, and I said, Miss Grace, D.I.'s been gone 6 weeks, and I haven't heard a word. She said, oh, we'll get on it. And in less than a day, we heard from him.
Oh.
But he didn't know where he was supposed to be. Anyway, he wound up in New Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
And stayed. And while he was in New Guinea, he had to load airplanes on paper. They didn't have any computers at that time.
Oh.
But they gave him a desk and said, load this plane. So he had to figure out how much weight to put in the tail, how much weight the plane had when it took off, and if there was enough gas for it to get back. And it was all a new experience for a bookkeeper from
Yeah.
from a
Wasn't what he
small
was used
town. But actually, he got a good education working. But I did not know till after the war that he was in one of the most dangerous places in the Pacific.
Really?
And I'm glad the Lord held that back from me, so I didn't have to worry about that. And one day, John Wayne walked in his office, stood there while I dropped his hat on the desk, and he went outside for something. And so I grabbed his hat, put it on, went outside and said, "Take my picture." So somebody took his picture with John Wayne's hat on, and we thought that was pretty cool.
So were you able to write back and forth quite a bit then? Send letters?
We wrote every day.
And she didn't keep them.
One day, he was in New Guinea at his desk, and the two men walked in the office, and they said, "Anybody want to go to the States?" And of course they did. So they had to get ready to write fast like. And the vice president of the Philippines was coming to the United States, and he brought two of the boys with him. And I didn't know anything about that till I got a telephone call from California saying I'm in the States.
Oh.
I can't tell you how I felt.
Oh.
It's been 2 years.
Mm.
2 years. But they stationed him at Hamilton Field, California, which is right across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Then how long was he in California?
Well, a year. When he got to California, my best friend's husband was being stationed out there. So we had
Was that Joe from Southport?
yeah,
Joe Stevens from Southport.
no,
Joe.
from Wilmington. She was my best friend in Southport, but she was living in Wilmington. Her husband was with the telephone company.
And what was her name?
What was her name? What was her maiden name, Mom?
Josephine Smith.
Josephine Smith in Southport.
From Southport. And so her husband was in California too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you something that I think was interesting to me. He was among those in the school they sent him to in Chicago, I believe. And he was at the top of his class. So they said, you can have your choice of where you want to be stationed. Well, he knew that D.I. and I were near San Francisco. He'd never been out there. But he knew Josephine and I were good friends. So that's where he asked to be sent. And that's where they sent him.
Oh, what a good man. Now, how did you get out to California? How did you travel out there?
Well, to get to California, first, my sister, my youngest sister, her husband was stationed out in the same area. And she came to me and said, Myrtle, I'm going to California tomorrow. You can go with me if you want to, but I'm going. Well, I wasn't going to let her leave me. So we got ready overnight, caught a bus to Supply, and from there to Charleston. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to tell this or not,
Of course.
but the military bus was full, and the two boys, young military boys, came up to us and said, where are you going? And we told them, and they said, are your husbands out there? And we said, yes. Well, they said, well, you come on and get in line and be our wives, and we'll get you on that bus.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So,
They pretended for you.
well, it took 6 days and 7 nights to get from Southport to San Francisco.
Wow.
So did the bus traveled all night as well? Were you on the bus 24 hours a day?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
A whole week. So you would just stop at restaurants to eat?
We just, they stopped at different airports to gas up, and
You mean bus stations or airports?
airports.
Okay.
We were on an airplane. We were under the Air Corps then.
Well, tell them who your sister was married to, Mom.
My sister was married to Billy Willis from Southport.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's why she was going out there and why I got to go.
Did you know when you started that it was going to take you a week to get there?
No. That didn't matter. We were on our way.
Yeah. Oh, what an adventure. That would make a great movie. The story of you and your sister traveling across country to see your
A
husband.
movie, Mom. A movie. They amuse you.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.